Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. I'm SocietySucks and today I'm checking out the time the Dutch ate their prime minister by History Matters. Because apparently that's something that happened. The Dutch ate their prime minister at some point in time. I don't get how or why this happened, so let's find out.
Historically speaking, prime ministers aren't food. But this little fact wasn't enough to stop those go-getting Dutch from chowing down on their own in 1672. Now, this raises a pretty obvious question. Why? Why did the Dutch eat their prime minister? How does someone go from being in a position of immense power to becoming food for an angry mob? So, a bit of background.
Not just
in the mid-17th century, the young Dutch Republic was in a difficult situation. It was surrounded by hostile powers who were pretty keen to carve it up or at least permanently subjugate it. You see, the Dutch Republic was rich, incredibly rich. Mostly due to its near monopoly on trade with Southeast Asia, which everybody else wanted. Having so many enemies meant the war was somewhat inevitable. So the title of Prime Minister didn't exist back in 1653 and the formal head of the Dutch Republic was called the Stadtholder. Previously, this office had been held by the Princes of Orange and was essentially an elected monarchy. However, as of 1650, the office was left vacant after a quarrel between William II and officials from Holland. In the decades following this, the country was deeply divided between two political groups.
Oh, that's never good.
The statists, those who favoured a loose federation and less centralised power, and the second group were the Orangists, who wished for the return of a monarchical system under the House of Orange and a deeply centralised state. Without a stadtholder...
I don't really know enough about Dutch history to make any comments on which side would be better here, so I'm just gonna not say anything.
The effective head of the country was the Grand Pensionary of Holland, the richest and most powerful of the United Provinces. And the man who held this position was Johan de Witt. De Witt was in many respects a moderate whose
the Johan de Witt is a ship. So this guy got a ship named after him. Is this the guy they ate?
Primary interest was protecting the flow of trade, and thus he wanted to avoid war at all costs. As such, de Witt prioritised the creation of a strong navy to deter anyone from interrupting said trade. Now, this policy worked well initially. When England fought a war in 1665 to pry some Dutch trade away from it, the Dutch promptly and decisively crushed the English navy. After this, de Witt was at the height of his popularity and power, and so sought to use this to settle his dispute with the Orangists, who were led by the young William of Orange. As such, he implemented a law which meant that Holland no longer recognised the office of stadtholder, making it impossible for William to have control of the entire country should he rise to power. To put it mildly, this upset the Orangists, but there wasn't much they could do yet. Things went south in 1672 when King Louis XIV of France decided that the Dutch Republic's existence had gone on for a bit too long, and so he invaded. And things went poorly for the Dutch. Very poorly. So much so that 1672 is referred to as the Rampjaar, which directly translates to a year which in retrospect can safely be described as being pants. With the French army rampaging through the country, the Orangists demanded de Witt's head and made a failed attempt to assassinate him. He resigned.
Yeah, having a great navy doesn't really matter when you have to fight a war on land.
The office of Grand Pensionary, but this wasn't enough since he could potentially return, and so the Orangists arrested de Witt's brother. When de Witt went to visit him, he was ambushed and killed by a mob, and said mob subsequently ate him and his brother. Not all of them, that would be uncouth, but they did cook and eat some of them. We know this from several sources who described it as actually being a fairly organised display of cannibalism, which is pretty rare. In the end, he was killed because the people of his country were in a state of raw panic. And the Dutch mob ate him because they hated him. He had kept their rightful monarch away from power, and so they sought to humiliate him in death. And in case you're wondering, the reaction to their deaths in the Netherlands was that it was justified, and the new stadtholder, William, quickly pardoned everyone. So if you only take one thing away from this, when leaders mess things up royally by losing a war and alienating half of their own country, they move on to the list of things eligible to be eaten. Something to remember if you ever want to go into politics.
I guess you could say the Dutch took the phrase eat the rich a little too literally. So they just ate him because they hated him? It seems like there was really no reason. They just kind of did it. I guess once they tore him apart, they were like, fuck it, let's eat him. I mean, that's crazy. What else is there to say? There's a lot of politicians today which should have this exact same thing done to them. I can think of one in the US. Well, no, actually, I can think of way more than just one. And not just in the US. Plenty around the world should have this exact same thing done to them. I think it would solve a lot of problems, really. Maybe if the people started killing and eating their politicians for starting pointless wars, maybe they would stop doing that. Maybe they'd stop starting wars which end up with no real resolution, no change. Whatever. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. If you want to see more reactions, check out this video right here. And with that, I hope I'll see you in the next video.